This is a shop tour for those who don't like shop tours. It's that time of year again when a lot of channels do shop tours, and I personally hate shop tours. I generally don't watch them. So I decided this year I'm going to do something really different. So Rob Cosman contacted me. He has been doing an amazing amount of work through the Purple Heart Project and several other ways, helping veterans who really need help and doing some amazing work with that. And he's working with 4 veterans particularly who are actually trying to start a business around woodworking, YouTube, and that sort of thing. And basically shepherding them through it and creating a mastermind group with them. And all 4 of them are launching their YouTube channels today. And so Rob and I are actually going to be pushing them. So if you don't watch any of this video, go take a look at all 4 of them, links to them down below. They're just getting started and they're gonna be putting out some amazing content, which I'm really looking forward to seeing and supporting them and helping them go. So take a look at their videos down below. Just go ahead and stop here, go take a look at their videos, subscribe to them, encourage them, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they get. But for those of you who want to see more here, today we're going to be taking a look at the AV around the shop. What do I actually use to create these videos and how do I go about doing that? So I'm sorry if the video quality is a little bit shaky, but this is my main camera. This is a Panasonic GH5. It is widely considered one of the best standard, relatively affordable video cameras. Now, yes, it is a DSLR, and on here I have a Lumix 12-60 lens. I really like this setup. It is a phenomenal camera. It has 2 bays for SD cards. It's got the flip out screen on the back so I can actually see it from my side when I'm viewing. And yeah, I'm actually recording the audio on this camera. So you can see that one's recording. And then the one I'm holding is just doing the video. As to audio, I have Sennheiser G4s. And so that is my wireless that's built onto there. So yes, that's what I carry on back. So back over here to my old, which is now my secondary camera. I use this if I need a second shot, or I use it for the live videos to do close-ups. On here I have a Lumix 14-45. It's one of their cheaper kit lenses, but it's still got decent stability on there. Also I have this Manfrotto boom that comes out that allows me to position the camera exactly where I want it to. I use that for live videos particularly. Both of my tripods are Manfrotto, and these are, I wish I had bought these years ago. They are amazing. The 2090, they're relatively affordable, though kind of expensive, but they are the best thing in the world. If you're just starting out, get a good tripod. You don't have to get a good camera, you don't have to get a good mic, but get a good tripod. You will be very happy with that. On top I have a relatively cheap Manfrotto ball mount, and I use that for both of them. Yeah, here's the one that this camera is normally mounted on. For lighting, I've got an entire video dedicated to my shop lighting. I'll leave a link to that down below, but I've got 2 big soft boxes that provide most of my light. 45 degrees up, 45 degrees out. And then with my low ceiling, I've got a bunch of green light mounted straight to the stud, simple LEDs that I like. In the back here, I've actually got LED bulbs in my fluorescents. So everything in the shop is LED, they just happen to be filling in a space back there. For lives, I actually have 4 screens. So I've got the 3 main screens on the computer way over there, but then I have one line coming over here to this one so I can have a screen to see what is on the chat for the lives. But I've got a lot of data going back and forth, and of course a lot of cords. All of the cameras get plugged in rather than being on battery. For lives, I have this ATEM Mini Blackmagic Pro, and my 2 main cameras are run off of that, 2 HDMI cables that plug into my secondary camera and my primary camera. And this allows me to then easily switch between them on lives, as well as I can program the fade time or fade type. And a lot of people actually stream right off of this and plug this directly in the computer and put this feed directly into the stream. I take it one step farther. So on the other end of the shop, here is my main computer, but this is just the screens. Back over on the other side of the wall in my laundry room is actually where my computer is at. And so here is my computer that I actually just rebuilt. Everything then comes in through the wall or through the ceiling and connects into this so that the computer is in another room, keeping it a little bit quieter. And of course, right beside that is my 3D printer. So this is actually where I do most of my work, and this is also where my wife sits for the live videos. We have a simple webcam up here. It's just a little thing from Logitech, but this is what captures her small screen. So for the lives, I use OBS, and up here I have my full 5K. This is where I do most of my video checking for color quality and whatnot. And this is where I actually then compile the video from the ATEM Mini, plus this, plus all my audio, which is over here on my switch panel. All of that gets combined in OBS and gets sent out for the lives. I have a CyberPower battery backup here that will allow me to run the computer for about another 30 minutes or so if the power goes out. Doesn't back up the internet, but it backs up the computer at least. For the screen setup, I have a 36-inch curved monitor. I love this thing. I would never do editing again without this if I could. This is amazing. Then up top we have my 4K monitor that I do checking, and then I run one vertical over here, which is great for actually seeing emails and things like that run vertical. And on top of that, of course, we have then two soft boxes, 1 and 2, and those then provide the light, and then curtains in the back for sound editing. Speaking of sound, I have a Shure SM7B mounted to the ceiling, and that is what I do all my voiceover recording on. Also, I'll do that anytime I'm on a live here at the computer. I usually turn that one on. But then that gets piped down here into my soundboard. The soundboard is a Yamaha MG10XU. It allows me to have all my feeds. So here is the mic that comes in from my SM7B. This one is actually a Rode ceiling mic. So I have a ceiling mic above that I'll often pull out for lives so that people watching on Patreon and other things like that can actually listen to what I'm doing. Then next to that, I have another Rode mic that I'll occasionally plug in. Then this one is actually my backup Sennheiser. I use this if I have a second person at the bench for a live. My mic that's currently on the camera then hangs here for lives, so I use that for recording me. And this one over here is a Rode Link, and that one is the live for my wife. So we have the backup speaker, my wife, and myself all plugged into here, so we can change all of our volumes and control on this. And then this then feeds out and then into the computer. Other things I have on hand is this really simple gimbal. I use this for my cell phone, so anytime I'm doing a live out in the field at one of the tool sales, I have this on my camera. It keeps it stable, and I can do all my recording and sending off of my phone so that my phone can do the lives there. It actually works really well and allows me to put down the tripod, and I can set it down, have hands free for a moment, pick it back up and keep going. I really like this thing. A cheap one of these can do an amazing thing for your shop. When you're first getting started, your phone and one of these, that's all you need. Put this on top of a decent tripod and you can use that for a very long time to come. And then if you ever watch any of my diving videos, I have this, a Sea Frog's case that actually goes over my GH4, as well as 2 lights that come off it. And so this is what I actually will use to record all of the underwater footage, you know, for underwater woodworking. There are lots of other little things that I use to create videos, and yeah, I don't have time to show all those, and they're really not that interesting. This is what I use on a regular basis and what I consider to be my core for the videos I make. That being said, you do not need all of this to get started. A cell phone can do amazing things. You get a clip to put this on top of a decent tripod, and you can make some amazing videos with just this. When you're first getting started, that's all you need. The next step up is then some audio, and you can get an audio adapter to plug in here and get a decent mic. Get a wireless like this, and you are set for a long, long time to come. The only big difference between this and the camera that I am using is that this doesn't have quite the shallow depth of field, so you don't get that artistic feel with the things out of focus in the background and what you have in focus. And that's one of those things that you don't get picky about until you've been doing it for a while. You don't need all of this equipment. You can do it all with a cell phone and a decent microphone plugged into it. So if you're getting started, that's what I generally suggest. A good tripod, a good cell phone, a decent mic, and you're good to go. Then you start upgrading things as you can afford them and as you need them. You add up for what fits into your shop. Do you need better lighting? Focus on that. Do you want to get that shallow depth of field and artistic feel? Then you might want to get a decent camera. But you don't need them. They just make for a slightly better film eventually. So again, I know most of you are not going to be watching this. Definitely go take a look at all 4 of the guys down below. They are starting off their channel and they need your support. Subscribe to them, watch what they do, and support them, because they have been supporting us by being on the field and putting their lives in harm's way. And I want to give back to the community as much as possible, and this is one small way to do it. So subscribe to them, help them out, and if you do want to take it one step farther, then donate to the Purple Heart Project and help get them going. So thank you for that. I would normally tell you go down below, comment, share, subscribe, like, all that type of stuff, become a patron, but I would actually today say go over to their channels and do that to them. Yes, if you do it here, thank you, but it would mean more to me if you help them out and support them. So hop down below and let's support the veterans who have been doing so much for us. I hope you like this. This has been a fun one. I normally do a shop tour every 2 years or so, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different and show some of the AV. If you have any questions, throw those down below. I will answer them, and I'll try and leave links to what I use down below. So I think that'll do it for now. And until next time, have a wonderful day. For those of you wondering, all of this electronic isn't powered by electricity. My kids are in the other room pedaling furiously to keep the lights on. So yes, it's all hand tools.